Guys, so welcome back. So today we're doing a very different type of video. I've been asked to do this quite a bit. So today we're gonna go over basically how you can edit maps. You can either use this to create a whole new map. If you have like a blank terrain. But we're gonna go into this on how I make tracks, make street spots, because whenever I do the tracks and stuff like that, I try to make it look like it's been raced on, so it doesn't just look like perfectly smooth pavement. How all this is. But basically, what I'm gonna go over is this. We're gonna split this up into a couple parts. But for this video, we're gonna actually start making a brand new track. This is our RP map. It is based off of Argentina roads, which is you can find on the repo. Um, there's a few versions of Argentina, and the guy has done an amazing job making the map. This is his newest version, and it's amazing. He's done a really good job, and I kind of use it as the base canvas because I think it's a great RP map. It's just for us, we do, you know, we're mostly a racing server, so I wanted to add some tracks, add some roads, and we use World Editor for basically all of this. And this is one of the tracks we made. We have 4 of them here. We have another one right here. We call this one the Abandoned Raceway. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go find a spot over here, and we're actually gonna build a new one. Start on it anyways. And for one thing is to fly around, I'm using my mouse wheel right here. If you guys want to fly around, you're at a car or you're just sitting there floating around, if you hit Shift C, that'll put you in like a free cam mode, and you can use your mouse wheel and hold the right click down on the right button, and you can move it back and forth. Or if you let go of the button, you just sit there and move the mouse. But then you can use WSAD to go back and forth and side to side. And while you're moving, if you hit Shift, it's like a boost button. So just a good, tool for this to know how to do that, because it will help out tremendously. So where we wanted this track was there's a track here, track over there, and there's 2 over here. So I really want one kind of on this side of the map. And there's a circuit course here, which is awesome. I did not make that. That was from the creator. But let's see, this is Cookie's house right here. So I kind of think maybe we should go behind it. No, it's kind of getting in the middle of the map again. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this big patch of field here, as I'm going to start with. If I have to, I'll move this road, and we'll kind of go over that stuff. But for this video, what we're going to focus on is basically the basics of creating some meshes and stuff like that. And we'll split this up in a couple parts, and we're going to do this whole track, and I'll show you guys how I do it. First of which you want to do to get into World Editor is hit F11. And I'm just going to come over here and show you guys some things for some easy tools. So when you hit F11, it'll look like this. Yours may look a little bit different than mine. But now you have your tools up here. Now, this one here is to create an object. Like if you want to add a skybox, like clouds and stuff like that, you can make it rain. You can add some spotlights, and we're gonna go over how I add lights to a track or a map and stuff like that. But now this one right here is a really important one, object select. So this is like if you're placing down props and stuff like that. Now, if you click on the house, 3 axis here, so you can move it back and forth, up and down. Now, one thing I will say for everyone to watch out for is when you're clicking on stuff, this stuff is easy because it's kind of big. But if you click on, if you try to click on this fence right here, okay, I clicked on it. But now if you're a little bit to the right of it, you see that it didn't highlight it, but you can see this big rectangle around the entire map. That's a terrain block. You do not want to move that. So be leery if you ever highlight this terrain block. Don't hit delete or don't try to move it. Just click up in the sky and that'll unselect whatever you have selected. It's just the easy thing to do real quick. But while you're clicked on stuff, it'll highlight over here. You can click the eyeball if you just want to hide it, And then if it's in a position you like, you can also hit the lock, and that locks it in place where it will not move. Beyond that, there's a rotate key up here. So, you know, you can rotate stuff around. And then you have a scale key, which, you know, you can make it big, super tall. And I just messed that up. But, you know, you can kind of change the size of stuff. And you can do this pretty much with like anything around the map. So, you know, you can go find a, I think there's a pole down here. Yeah. So, you know, the pole, you want to move it around, change the height, scale it, whatever you want. And if you want to delete something, you can either hide it with the eyeball, or you just simply hit delete on the keyboard and it'll go away. But so that was just a few simple things to like moving stuff around. You know, it makes it a little bit easier. We're gonna get into this, and I'm not a master at this, okay? I can't make it pitch perfect off of a real life track. I tried to at some point, like on the other map, I try to make 41. So I got a few buddies in here from Ohio, and we're gonna make Magnolia Raceway. It's not gonna be perfect, but they sent me some pictures of it, and I've been wanting to do something like this for a while anyways. I really like the way this track looks. It's very old school, and I dig that kind of stuff. So we're gonna try to reference this the best we can. But and I'll try to start it somewhere where I'm gonna, you know, find the track at, which, you know, we can add a road to. It's not that big of a deal. But we're gonna start right here. Maybe make the entrance come off down here or something. So to start with, we're gonna lay down a terrain. It's kind of like painting. It's terrain painter right here. So to get into that, you go to terrain tools, and you have to have terrain painter highlighted. Now there's other stuff in here for like smooth, like if you're, you know, smoothing out a road, or, you know, you can set a height, and then right here, pick your height, and then it'll make everything really flat, which, you know, we can go ahead and do that right now because we want this to be flat. So you're just gonna click on down your left side of your mouse, drag it around, and it'll flatten everything. To give you guys a better look on this, we'll just sit here and, okay, well, it's kind of high. So set height, go 514, and then you can see it just changed the height. So if you go to smooth it, you know, just kind of go around the edges, give it a nice edge right there, and it'll make a little mound right there. So, you know, you can use this stuff just to kind of play with it. It can get kind of tricky sometimes, but just keep on working it and it'll get there. There's smooth slope. You can grab it, lower the height, and it'll just automatically lower it. So, you know, we'll make a big ditch right here. And here, like, this is your pressure and then your size. So if you move your mouse wheel, you see the size get bigger. So now the pressure is how much it's gonna, you know, the higher the number, the more intense it'll be out right off the bat. So if we go down to 20, you can see how it barely puts it down in there. Where if we go to 100, it'll make a hole pretty quick. And if you sit in one spot, it just makes it deeper and deeper and deeper. But we don't want to do any of that because we're gonna have a track. It's gonna be flat. It's gonna be smooth. But we're gonna throw a loop in here on this track, so it's not gonna be stellar. Basically, it's gonna have a good 60 foot, and then after that, you're gonna have to do some tuning for it. So, but we're gonna go to terrain painter, and some of these I have made in here, and we'll probably go over that in another video on how I make them, because this can get kind of time consuming, but you can also use what they have here. Like he has an asphalt one, which, oh wait, that, oh, okay, that one's flipped. Sometimes the wording is a little off on them, but yeah, it will kind of give you a preview of it. And now this is just one I made of a blacktop, but now you'll see that they have asphalt, dirt, grass, which, you know, I'll use that stuff a lot as well. But first thing I want to do is just kind of get a basis of where the entrance will be. It'll be there. So aside from that, what I want to do is just, you know, don't have to worry about making everything perfectly flat and smooth right now, because in the end we'll go back and tidy it all up. But actually, the one thing I need to do is make this grass. because it's going to be grass here, and we can't have. Another thing that helps out a lot too, guys, is you can change the box for your brush. So right now we have a box. You can change it to a circle if that helps. Just a few things to make it a little bit easier. I've heard that this is a lot like Farming Simulator. I have never played that, so I'm not sure. But I definitely just went over that road. Yep, I can fix that later. All right, let me get right in here. I try to explain this as best I can. I'm not very good at explaining stuff, so bear with me, guys. And whatever questions you have, you can always ask me and I'll help you out. Okay, so this track, we're gonna make the actual track first and then we'll make the stuff around it. So we're gonna do the blacktop, and what I do is for size, just from what I figured out, 14 is about perfect for 2 cars. This track's I don't want it super narrow, so we're gonna go right there, and then we're just gonna go straight down it. You can see how the box is kind of going outside. It's got some lips here, but like I said, in the end, like we can go back and clean up the edges and make it pretty. We're definitely gonna have to move this road though, but that's okay. And another thing right here, so now all these trees here, we obviously don't want them on our track. So we'll go up here to forest tools, and you can paint trees. You can put some more trees down, or you can erase, and then you just kind of hold it over there, and then they'll go away. All right, so now we have our track kind of down. Not really just the track. There's a lot of stuff left to do here. But um aside from this, you can start, kind of doing your own thing when making your pit area and all that stuff. But I mostly focus on the track first and get it close and then build from there. So that's what we're gonna do is we're gonna lay down a decal road. Okay, so now what that is if you look at these right here, these are roads that are placed down, and you can kind of click on them and move them around. But now, in order to do this, you have to be in the Decal Road editor. So one thing is like you can change your width. So this is how we paint like lines with the track and stuff like that. So we'll do like a real like 0.3 is what I normally do for a line. But we're gonna actually lay down the surface of the track, and this track looks like it's concrete with like grooves for the cars. So that's really what I'm gonna try to keep it to. So let me try to do this. We're gonna go to, we're gonna see how 10 looks. Okay, that's not big enough. 25. Okay, we can do that. And in the end, if this isn't wide enough, we can come back and you can highlight the nodes. So you highlight one node, hold shift, highlight the other, and then right here, you can change the width of it. We'll go a little bit wider. All right, so now, once you pulled your node down, and sorry, because I didn't go over this, to basically create a decal, you're gonna hold Alt on your keyboard, and then you're gonna keep holding it. So, and then your mouse, and every time you want to place a node, just left click on the mouse while holding Alt, and then keep on going down. Now you can let go of Alt, but then now once you go to click it again, you gotta hold Alt to stretch it out. And then you just stretch it all the way to the end. And then right there. And then if there's like some curves or stuff like that, you can come in here and grab one, and then you don't have to hold Alt for this. Anytime you hold Alt, you're trying to add another node, but it's not really needed. So if you need to, you can go there and grab it, turn it, give it a nice curve. And I will say, if you guys are trying to make a turn, the more nodes, the better. So like, make a turn, you're gonna want to put down some nodes, and you come in here and kind of move it around. You don't want them to like break, kind of how this is right here. You don't want them like bunched up in the corner. You want them nice, smooth, go around, and then you can get a nice turn. Just like that. And then of course to delete a node, you just highlight the node and then you can delete it. But now, while we're in here, another thing I will say is, if you're trying to change some stuff, I know I'm going over a lot. If I need to slow down, just leave me a comment, tell me to slow down for the next one, and I'll try to my best to. Um, Sometimes when you're trying to get to the bottom, there's several layers here, sometimes when you're trying to get to the bottom, the best thing is you'll see these lines right here, these little squigglies. That's what I call them. But they're for, a lot of them are for like a decal road. So if you can't highlight this one because there's so many on top of it, if you find the squiggly for it, then under your object select, and then you go back to your decal road, and then you'll automatically highlight that one, and then you can move it around. That's just a little bit easier than, we can highlight it there, but see how right here there's a lot on top of each other. We can't find exactly the one we want. So if you can find that squiggly for it, then you can highlight it, just make it a little bit easier for you. All right, but back to the track. So what we're gonna do here is, we have our blank decal laid down with our nodes. So from that, now we want to go, if you don't have this open inspector, yes, you can go to window and then inspector, and it'll automatically pull up this box over here. So this will automatically pop up once you have the inspector window open. And then once you're in here, you don't really have to mess with a lot. This is about the only thing that we're going to change. And this loading is only because of my reshade. But you don't have to worry about that. So if you click on the material, you'll click the little three dots right here. And then there'll be depending on the map. This map has a lot of good stuff in it. One of the reasons why I love this place. But there's all kinds of stuff in here. There's dirt roads, gravel, concrete, all kinds of good stuff. So since this track is concrete, we're gonna try to put, okay, there's a concrete one. I'm not sure how much I like that one because of the grooves in it, but we're gonna put rubber over the top of it for like, make it look like it's made a lot of passes on it. Yeah, no, not that one. I believe that there's a light color asphalt too. So we might have to go through here. Okay, this is a pretty nice one. Doesn't look too much like concrete, but it's kind of close. I know that there's an asphalt light in here. Maybe that was on the other map. What's this one? Oh, okay, I think that's the light one. Yeah, that doesn't look too great, but okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and start with this decolored concrete. If anything, if I don't like the way it looks, we can just go back and change it. But so one thing is I want to make this wider to match my asphalt. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on this one, we're gonna hold shift, click on that one, and it highlights all of them. And then you can just come right here and hit the plus button, and there it goes, makes it wider. Is it me or does this not look straight? That looks better. Okay. Um, so now we have our mesh down. And you know, within this mesh, that the concrete one I won't normally do this with, because I'm gonna book, you know, there'll be a staging lane that wraps around to here. And I'll probably put some props here and stuff. But you can also change the start to end fade. So like on a burnout mark, it looks really good. So you could put like a 10 in there and it kind of fades it to where it starts. So it's not like such a hard break edge. When you do that with the, you know, tire marks, it kind of looks not clean. And I have bad OCD, so I just want to make everything look clean. What I'm going to do next is one thing I will do just to verify things is I'll come in here, just spawn a vehicle just to see. Okay, so we went way too big. Uh, it does not need to be that big. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back in here, highlight this, and 31. It probably needs to be like 18. It could even be a little bit smaller than that. Let me move this car to the middle of the lane. I think that will probably be pretty good. I'll ask Mitch, the guy who actually goes to this track a lot, see what he thinks, but we're gonna go a tad smaller. I think that might be perfect because we're gonna have a center line and stuff down here, but yeah, I think that might work. Yeah, I might have been off my number. Uh, we definitely made it too big though, but that's okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in here and I'm gonna clean up the edge. Oop, not that grass. Where's the grass at? There it is. But I'm gonna clean up the edge because on this track the guardrail is actually like in the grass a little bit, so that's pretty cool. You get a little bit extra between the wall. It's just not gonna help you to be in the grass. Now, when I'm doing this on how I'm just moving the camera while I'm placing down all the grass, is I'm just holding my W button or S to go forward and backwards while I just press down on the left stick of my keyboard, or sorry, left button on the mouse, and then it just goes right down with me. And I'll have to go back and fix these areas right here where it's showing grass on the track, but that's not a big deal. Okay. So now you guys can kind of see it how, you know, you can put stuff down and all that kind of stuff. One thing I am going to do is we're gonna go get some guardrails. Okay, so now next is we're gonna place down some guardrails. Now I just kind of stole these from my other track over there, because I already had guardrails out. Now if you can't find a prop, I can go over in another video on how to add props to the game or your map per se. But in order to get into the map props that are already there, because a lot of maps have a lot of props there, you go into Window, Asset Browser, and it'll open up over here. And now it's loading all the assets. Now, I have a lot of assets because I have, our racing signs and banners, and he makes our banners for cash days and other posters, and Crazy Dale's, he's given me a lot of stuff, and so the folder builds up over time. And I get a lot of help from Dax Maps Official, Crazy Dale, Half, Goose, PDM. All those guys help me out a lot with this kind of stuff, because I'm not a Blender person. I would love to be a Blender person, but I'm not a Blender person. But maybe one day. But now, you can come in here. A lot of your props will be, it's been a while since I opened this. A lot of them will be in the shapes. So right here, shapes folder, and then there's a building folder. I know I have my own folder in here because I just kind of drag and drop it into it. Maybe mine's under something else. Art. Oh, right here. So this is my folder right here, and I just, I got a whole bunch of stuff, and within them, there's more. So, I cannot give out my prop folder just because the people have helped me do it. So, but you can get props from, I know CG Trader, a lot of people go there for them. And, if you know some buddies that can make some props, and it can help out a lot. But so now what we're going to do is we're going to place these guardrails, try to make it straight all the way down here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to highlight this whole thing. Now you can try to highlight it like this, but if you can see, I highlighted that, the sun, sky, some ground cover over here. I don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is you're going to click on one thing. Now, one thing you could do is come in here, you see where it highlights it, hold shift and click on the bottom one, and it'll highlight it all. So you can highlight stuff that way. Or another thing I do is click here, then just hold shift and select every piece. Highlight that one. Okay. Check for my orange box around the map, make sure I didn't highlight the whole thing. And we did it. So now what we're going to do is okay. Rotation. I don't think that. Let me see if this moves anything. Okay. I'm trying to get this straight as I can before it's a mile long. Okay. That's not really doing what I wanted to do. Yeah, no. Okay. So what we'll do is, right now we're in the rotate key and it kind of snaps around. So, oh, I have it on rotate snap. Well, that'd be what? We're going to slide it over here. We're going to line it off of this. Looks pretty straight. Okay, so now, now see I have my terrain block highlighted, so click on the sky. We're gonna click there. We're just gonna do this a quick way. So now on this track, the guardrails are actually set off in the grass a little bit, which I think is awesome. So we're gonna go right about, I think there's pretty good. Let me kind of look at this picture. Yeah, it's not super far in the grass, but because we also might make this track a little bit smaller. Actually, we're gonna go right there. Okay, so now to do this a little simpler, instead of highlighting it, moving it, we're gonna try to keep all these highlighted right here, and then we're gonna hold shift and then slide it down. And there's a little bar at the bottom of the screen that'll help you with doing stuff. It's like a little help menu. So that stuff goes a long way. Just always look at the bottom of the screen and might find some new hotkeys to do stuff with. Maybe farther away. No, it looks pretty good. So we're just gonna keep on moving these all the way down the track. Actually, that's pretty straight. One thing I should have done is marked out if I even need this much track. Um, because it definitely is long. I don't think I need this much. How long is that? That's got to be almost 8th mile. Yeah, we'll mark the track out and stuff before we continue. But guys, I just wanted to hop on here, maybe do a little bit of a tutorial on how to do this stuff. I get asked a lot. Maybe this helps. I hope this helps. If not, if I'm explaining stuff too fast or I'm going too quickly, just let me know in the comments. I'm not a great teacher, but I try to help where I can. Um, but yeah, if you guys like this, let me know, and I'll do a part 2 of me doing this track more, and we can keep it going. So guys, I hope this helped. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.